Hello, Doral. Welcome back to another episode of In the City con Christi. I'm your mayor and bringing you lots of information, resources, and also getting to know all the incredible people that make up our wonderful community of Doral and Miami-Dade. Today, we have with us a very special guest. We have Carolyn Acosta. She is the founder of First Alarm Foundation, which she founded after her husband, Lieutenant Alexander Acosta, or she lost her husband to suicide, something that is so difficult to talk about, but so important to bring awareness. Our heroes that also suffer tremendous heartbreak sometimes, which affects them. And so we want to bring awareness, talk about it, also introduce her foundation, which is doing incredible work in our community. Carolyn, welcome.
Thank you, Mary, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, it's wonderful to have you. I know this is a tough subject to talk about, but something that I think is necessary. We look to our first responders. We look to them as heroes. They're strong. They're these figures of safety for us, right? And sometimes we forget that they're human too, and that they can suffer immense mental health and struggles and heartbreak. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. I know it's a tough one to talk about, but you've set out to make this your mission so that his memory is not forgotten.
Yes, exactly, Mayor. So, it is a very tough subject to speak about, but it's a very important one. These are our first responders. They are the people we go to for help. So if they're not mentally well, they won't be able to help us at the end of the day. Yeah. So I think it's great that we speak about it, break that stigma. We're all human. We're not meant to deal with these kind of traumatic incidences on a regular daily basis like they do. Our brains just don't process that. And I think for civilians, I think we fail to realize that. We kind of take it for granted, and we figure, this is a career they chose, and they're probably able to handle it. And in reality is we're not.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great opening which leads me to my first question. It's like, why do you believe or think that our first responders, which we see as our heroes, often hide their pain the most?
Because we're supposed to look for them for help, right? So I think for them to show any kind of weakness, not only is it, I think, frowned upon, just culturally in their environment, I think it's something that they've been, I guess, kind of believed, right, for so long. And I think now when people are starting to speak about it a little more, they're realizing that, the nightmares that I'm having, the waking up, the why can't I get over, these calls is something that is very normal and it's happening a lot, but they're not communicating it.
I think also what I've researched, heard about, and I've taken, an interest in this topic. I actually, there is the local union did a Dancing with the Stars, like to raise funds for first responders, particularly firefighters. And I did it. I was one of the dancers. I didn't do very well. I didn't win, even though I love dancing. But for me, it was important to help raise awareness and funding, and hence why you're here today as well. And what I read about and what I tend to hear is that they are afraid of even losing their jobs if they speak up about it.
Exactly. And that's a big concern for them, is that if they report it to the department and they start getting help, it's like they'll be suspended, their guns will be taken away, they can't handle their career. And this is what they've worked so hard for and what they truly are passionate about. It's their career. They love what they do. But it's also, I think, providing the right resources, even when they start, like, things to look out for. How can we have continuous education that will help you handle these traumas? What should you be looking to do if you encounter these situations? Kind of be a little more proactive.
And that leads me right to my next question, which I think your foundation is trying to do is, can you give us some of those? What are, for those of us that may have a loved one who is a first responder, it could be a police officer, it could be a firefighter, they see tremendous trauma, in many cases. What should those loved ones be looking for?
So, I mean, some of the signs that I'm going to just tell you by personal experience. My husband wasn't sleeping. He wasn't sleeping. He had a hard time being present with us. Started not wanting to go to work, which that was huge because he never took any kind of sick leave or anything like that. Also, just just down. He wasn't doing the things he enjoyed anymore. So those were very clear signs that something was happening. I just wasn't aware that it was job related. I personally thought it was something, maybe he's just not happy with life right now, which happens. We all go through our ups and downs. So those are, I would say, would be clear signs of, you know, let's talk. Is there something going on? Maybe reach out to a partner at work and find out a little more. How was last night? Were they had any bad calls this week? I think those would be some of the questions that if I were to go back, and I would ask like his partners and stuff, like, was there things that I should know about?
And have you identified, do you know if there was like a breaking point, if there was that one scenario or one call that he responded to that kind of was that trigger, let's call it?
So I can't specifically say it was one. He was on air rescue for 17 years. So he obviously saw the worst of the worst. He was also on the USAR team. So when he was deployed, he even did the FIU bridge when it collapsed. So there was certain situations that I hear about now that I'm like, wow, I can't imagine him having to deal with those traumatic events over and over in his head. So I know he saw a lot. Definitely the ones that hit the most were the children, the suicide ones, which ironically were big.
Wow.
Yeah. But he saw a lot, so I can't really specify a specific one.
It was just a compiled.
It was just complex trauma.
That it just grew over time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, and you just touched upon it now, right? So it's something that he had to deal with on a day-to-day. It was part of the job. It's literally his job.
Right.
Do you think that the system is broken?
So I definitely think there needs to be gaps filled. I think that they're doing what they're doing because this is what they know. I definitely think that bringing more awareness to mental health and how it is affecting them is a good start. And they could have more like continuous education for the rookies, for the people who are already on the job. Like, what should you be looking out for? I think they need to do more check-ins. And by check-ins, I don't mean like a physical every year. I mean, let's sit down and have workshops. Let's talk about mental health, not just a quick passing. I think it needs to be something that is really kind of drilled. Like, these are the signs you need to be looking at. Are you feeling this way? Let's start doing yoga. Let's start doing other modalities to deal with stress, to deal with trauma, to deal with everyday life, even outside of the department.
Yeah. And do you think that they should require therapy? Should there be a requirement for them to have to speak to someone or go to a therapist every so often?
I think it would be good. The problem is with this culture is when you require something or you like make it they kind of frown upon it. They don't want to be told what to do. So I think it's introducing it in a lighter way. I think making it part of their certifications, right? That they have to attend, everyone, not just a specific person, because then you're kind of singling yourself out and nobody wants to be that person asking for help.
Right. But if you make it part of, like, I mean, exactly, you have to do certifications.
Right.
You have to do your recertification. I was trying to think of what are things that they have to do on the normal, right? Or consistently.
Yes.
That you would plug it in there. I think that it should be like a health screening almost.
I agree.
So is your organization pushing for this?
So we're pushing for that. We're pushing also, the departments offer they have their mental health and their resources and all that stuff, services, and their clinicians. The problem is that they don't want to go to the departments for help because they don't want
They're afraid.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
So
we got to break that stigma and that
Yes.
stereotype,
Yes.
100%. And I think that's the barrier that's the door we're breaking down.
Yes.
So I applaud you for that. I know it's very hard. You've chosen to take a very sad and difficult situation in your life and turn it into something positive. What was your inspiration on that?
To be honest with you, Mayor, I think it was God. I felt after Alex's passing, obviously our whole world crumbled. And
you have a son.
And I have a son. I have a 14-year-old son now. At the time, he was 13. Alex did everything for us. I can tell you that I had my debit card, and that was it. I didn't know any bills that we paid, nothing. He's just like, take care of my son, and he took care of us in every way, shape, and form. He loved us dearly and everything. So I feel like God was telling me that you need to take this pain and turn it into purpose, and it's helping me heal. It's helping me understand what he was going through. When I hear other people tell me their stories, I want my son to see this too and see that his dad was a hero, and it wasn't a decision that he made. He wasn't in the right state of mind, and it wasn't anything that we did. It was just, it's unfortunate. This career is a beautiful thing, but if you don't take care of yourself, it can go south really fast.
And that was my next question. It's today we find more and more, or we find less and less, I should say, people wanting to go into policing, first responders, firefighters. So how do you change that? How do you paint a picture of, yeah, it's hard, we need you, and this is what we're doing better for you? What can civilians or just any person out there do to make this easier, to support your message, support the career? Because obviously your husband loved it.
Yes, he loved it.
If your son told you tomorrow he wants to be a firefighter, what would you say?
Well, he actually did tell me that.
Oh.
So I think this also gives me more drive to make sure that they have the right resources for their mental health, because I would tell them this is a beautiful career and this is something that does provide for your family, but it also does take away from you. Yeah. So you have to learn to take care of yourself, be it, have another hobby. I think that also when you about to hit retirement, you focus so much energy on this career and this is what you identify with. And when you're getting ready to hit the drop and this is all done and over with, who are you? Yeah. So a lot of them find themselves.
Was he there already? Was he close to? Okay.
Yeah. So we were going to sign for the drop like that Friday, the following after he passed away. So he was there. So there was a lot of things I feel like going on. And again, when you find yourself in such a low point, there's just so many things that go through your head, which is all irrational, obviously. But
yeah, no, I applaud you for being such a strong woman and having the courage to speak about this and continue on and try and make it better for the next generation, for those who are doing the service right now, because we need first responders, we need our firefighters, we need our police officers. We are grateful to them, to their families. Before we close, I'm gonna ask you a hard question. I know it's a tough one, but if you could stand in front of Alex today, back then, and ask him one thing or address something, what would it be?
I wish he would have spoken to me more about what he was going through. I think I just wish he would have opened up more. I don't know if that would have changed anything. That would probably be one of the things I would say. And then I would also thank him for being so amazing. So amazing.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Caroline, thank you for being here with us. Tell me where we could find the organization. What's your website? How can people donate? What is your next big project to get the community engaged and involved? Share with our audience a little bit about First Alarm and how they can get involved.
Yeah, so we have our IG page, First Alarm. We also have our podcast, First Alarm Family First, which I would love to have you on. Yeah. But our website is www.firstalarmfoundation, and you can make donations on there. We are working to have our 5K. We're hoping it's sometime in October. And then we also want to do a golf tournament, and we're probably looking in sometime in November.
Awesome. Well, count me in. I love it. I think it's great. My son plays golf, and so we would love to continue to support your mission, your purpose, your foundation, your husband's story. Thank you for your service as his wife and as a spouse of a first responder, and for continuing to encourage people to get into a career that you could have easily pushed away. So thank you for everything you're doing. God bless you and your son. I know Doral just made a contribution to the organization as well. And so we hope to continue to support what you do, because we are so grateful to those who have dedicated their life to public service in our community. Right. So thank you. Thank you. And we appreciate you coming on the podcast and sharing this story. We know it's not always easy to talk about, but it's the best way to get the information out to our community. Yes. So if you have someone struggling today with mental health or depression, whether it's a first responder or anyone else, you're not alone. Make sure to reach out. There's organizations, resources that can help you and your family get through it. Don't let judgment be the reason why you don't reach out and save a life. So we hope that this touched someone today. If you like what you watched, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. This is our podcast, In the City con Christi, where we get to learn a little bit more about all the incredible people that make up the greatest place to live, work, learn, and play, Doral. We'll catch you at the next one. Thank you.